Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard, and if you'll remember, about 3 weeks ago on my community page on YouTube, I posted a poll on there that I wanted people to take, and almost 300 people have taken the poll, and the question was on there, I purchased a second generation Colt, an actual Colt 1851 Navy, and it's unfired. It was manufactured in 1971, and it has not been fired. I closely inspected it and did not see any evidence of it ever having been fired. So the question was, do I fire it like it's, meant to be, or do I keep it in its somewhat pristine condition for maybe another 51 years unfired, and then pass it on to somebody else and let them benefit from probably a pretty good value in it. Anyways, let's take a closer look at this box and see what I bought, and then talk about it, and we'll compare it to a Pietta 1851 Navy. I really wanted to compare it to a Uberti because Uberti originally made parts for this, and Uberti I think is a little higher quality than the Pietta ones, the reproductions anyways. But this is an actual Colt, and we're going to take a closer look at it and see, I guess, what makes it an actual Colt and compare it to the Pietta. Okay, so this is what I found when I walked into the antique shop, and I actually found this in an antique shop, and it was in a nice wooden case in there, and it is latchable and lockable and all that good stuff. But this is what I saw in the case, and I thought, I got to take this out and have a look at it. So I had the guy pull it out, and I looked, and I pulled it out of there, and it said, there was a tag on there, it said second generation Colt. So here it is, an actual second generation Colt, and it's unfired. It's in really good condition, other than maybe a couple little dings on the wood, on the grip right there, a little scrape mark right there, probably from it sitting in this case forever. But they put it in this case to make it look like an original, old Colt anyways. And this is some of the stuff I got with it. So I got a powder flask, I got a capping tool with some caps in it, a little oil bottle, I got a bullet mold with it, I got a pick, the key to the case, and it does work. A couple tins full of caps, and these are really old tins here, and they do have caps in them, and I think these, the RWS, might actually be good caps. They look like they're in good shape anyways. The other ones, not so much. I got the tool. It's a screwdriver and a nipple wrench, and in this little case here is a bunch of lead balls, and they've been in there for a long time. They got a lot of oxidation on them and everything. But it's a decent looking case, and the case is pretty old. I don't know what year the case was made. I have no way of telling. I could not find any markings or anything on it that says. But let's get this out of the way, and then we'll take a look at the actual Colt revolver, and then we're going to compare it with a Pietta. Now, one of the things you'll be able to tell right away is the Colt one has a square back on the trigger guard, which is the way it's supposed to be. The Pietta one has a rounded one, and it's a little bigger, which makes it kind of nice because it's easier to get your finger in there. The trigger guard on the actual Colt is pretty small, and my finger just barely fits in there. The action on it is really smooth, and it functions like it should anyways. I have not shot it. It has not been shot for 51 years. So the question is, do I want to shoot it? Now, one of the things you'll notice on the Pietta is they have black powder only, and then 36 caliber written on the side of it there. On the other side, it says Pietta made in Italy. And then there's import marks on it and everything. With the Colt one, the only thing that's on there is right here. It says Colt's patent, which is kind of hard to see there. There's the serial numbers on the different components on there, and you'll notice the trigger guard on here, this is actually, it's brass just like it is on the Pietta, but this is silver plated, and it's got a little bit of tarnishing on it, which is making it look a little darker and everything, but that could probably be polished out, but I'm not sure how thick that silver plating is on there, and I don't want to wear it down to the brass. I probably just leave it like it is. Good color case hardening on the loading lever, the frame, the hammer, everything. I mean, it's made like it's supposed to be. Now, the Pietta also has some pretty nice color case hardening on it. Same places on it. Nice bluing on the barrel. Nice bluing on the barrel on the Colt too. Everything is nice and smooth. A little bit of oil on it, which is good. It's supposed to have that on there. They're real similar. The loading lever, the latch on here is a little bit different. If you'll notice the frame part on here, on the barrel, it's a little thicker on the Pietta than it is on the Colt. But these were made, the Colt second generation ones were made from 1971 to 1982, and all the parts were procured by Colt from manufacturers in Italy. They were raw parts, and they were shipped to their Hartford, Connecticut plant, and they were actually finished, assembled, everything was put together by Colt, and inspected, and the finish, the fit, and everything was done by Colt. From 1971 to 1973, Navy Arms actually did all the parts for these guns. In 1974 to 1976, Lou Imperato is the one that did the actual assembly and procurement and everything. From 1978 to 82, Lou Imperato is also the one that procured everything, assembled everything, and then they handled the parts and the final production at their Ivor Johnson plant in Middlesex, New Jersey, and everything was blessed by Colt and said, okay, this is an actual Colt now. So from 71 to 82, all those second generation guns were actually blessed by Colt and can actually be lettered by Colt and said this is an authentic Colt firearm. Everything met the Colt specifications, their quality control, and their final inspection. All of them are regarded as authentic Colts. There was a third generation that was also made by Colts, and those are not quite up to specs, and you cannot get a letter for those saying that they're actual Colts, even though they are licensed by Colt. These are actual Colts. They're real, I mean, they're made almost exactly, the reproductions almost exactly like these. They'll pass anyways. One thing I did notice, and it'd be real hard for me to show you on here, is the engraving of the naval scene on here is a little finer detail on the Colt than it is on the Pietta. Some of the lines are, there's fewer lines, or bigger, bolder lines and everything, and it's more detailed on the Colt one. One thing I did notice is on the loading lever here, the ram on the lever, the screw is on this side on the Piettas, and it's on the other side on the Colts. I don't know if that's, you know, something that is supposed to be that way, and I don't know. But that's just one of the things I noticed. Some of the shapes are a little bit different between the two, but they're real similar. This will pass for taking it out and shooting it. A good shooting gun. Something you're not going to worry too much about degrading, because it's not an expensive gun. Now, one of the things you'll notice about this one is this grip on here. I hate this grip, but it was the only thing that I could find at the time. This is plastic. The ones with the wood grips are sold out. They've been sold out for a while, and it is a two-piece grip with a screw on it there, and I don't like that. And you'll notice the Colt one is a one-piece grip, and it's just, it's wood. It's a lot nicer than the plastic one. This is a shooter, something you don't have to worry about, at about half the price of what I paid for this. I think this is right around 300 bucks. I paid right around 600 for this one with the case and everything. So I don't feel I got a bad deal on it, but I think it could be worth more money in the future if it's unfired. But like I said, I conducted a poll, and I wanted you guys to decide what was going to happen with it. Okay, guys, we're out here at the saloon, and I've got the 1851 Colt with me, the authentic Colt. And as of this morning, there were 296 votes on the poll about whether I should fire it or not. 32% of the people said keep it just like it is. The other 68% said load it up and shoot it. So I've got a target set up there, and well, I'm not going to shoot the Colt. It's survived 51 years without anybody shooting it, so maybe another 51 years, and you know, I might not be around, but it might be worth something to you know, my kids or grandkids or something. But I did bring the Pietta out here with me, and since it is just one of the Italian reproductions, I'm going to go ahead and load this thing up with a little bit of black powder. I got some GoX Triple F here. I've got some ox yoke wads here for the 36 caliber, and I've got some 36 caliber balls. But one of the things I am going to do is I'm going to try some of these RWS caps on here that came with the Colt that I bought, and hopefully they'll work. I don't know, but I did not bring any of my other ones. I do have some newer ones with me back there at the gun dungeon. But I'm going to go ahead and put these on here and see if they function. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 6 of them on there, and I'm going to go ahead and fire them just to make sure they fire, and also clears out the nipple on there so that the flame can go through there and ignite the powder. Let's get them on and give it a try. Okay, these are just caps. We're just going to see if they fire and clear out the nipples. Okay, there was all 6 of them. They fired just fine. Now there's no powder in there, so there's no blowback through the nipples to actually destroy the nipples. A lot of times they'll fragment and pieces will get down inside there. So I'm going to have to pull these out. Wow, that one actually did pop a little bit. And get everything cleared out, and then we'll go ahead and get it charged up and try it with some actual black powder and some ammo in it. Okay, believe it or not, since I made this loading stand, I have not used it. And I made this thing quite a while back, but now I finally got it out here, and I don't know if I showed it finished in the video. In fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't. I went ahead and stained it and finished it up with some True Oil. I put some suede on the bottom of it there, put some suede on the inside and up there. So it should be a good little piece to have out here, a tool to have out here. So anyways, to get this thing loaded up, we've got it in a half-cock position there. We'll get the loading lever ready anyways. So the bullets are going to go in on this side, the powder, the wad, the bullet, and then we'll roll it around there and then push it down with the loading lever. So we'll go ahead and get the first one in there. I've got 10 grains of powder loaded in here. Pietta recommends between 9 and 12, so 10 sounded like a good number to me. So we'll go ahead and put the 10 grains down in there. Make sure we got it all in there. I've got the ox yoke wonder wads ready. Now on these bullets, you'll notice there's a sprue on there. This is from where the lead was poured into the mold. They suggest you put that pointing outward, I do believe, so we're going to try to get it pointing upward. And then we'll roll that around there. And then take and push it right down inside there. And it went ahead and sheared off a little lead ring right there. There's the little lead ring, so that's a good seal around that ball. So we've got one of them loaded in there. We'll go ahead and get the powder measure loaded up again. Again, I'm only putting 10 grains in there. And I am saving the little bit that gets scraped off the top there, sort of anyways. All right, we'll do the next one. Now I'm going to turn this so it's a little more convenient for me to do this. Okay, I've got all 6 chambers loaded up. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the caps on there. And I think I'm going to put them on by hand. It seemed a little easier to do than with the capping tool there. They are kind of hard to grab a hold of with when you got big fat fingers. Okay, I've got all 6 of them on there, and there is a safety notch between the nipples on there, so you can pull the hammer back. If I can get this to cooperate with me. There we go. And rest the hammer between the nipples. There's a little tiny pin sitting in between there, and there's a little notch at the bottom of the hammer that allows that pin to sit in there. So now it's not resting on one of the caps, which is one of the most dangerous things about these type of revolvers anyways. Let's get everything set up and take some shots with this thing, see how it does. Okay, eyes and ears are on. I've got it all loaded up, capped up and everything. I'm going to do 7 yards at the silhouette target up there. All right, that was all 6. Now, sometimes when you shoot these, if you'll tip it up like that when you cock the hammer, that'll help that cap fall off of there, especially if they've opened up and fragmented, and they will fall off. It makes it easier to get them off of there. We're going to go take a look at this target because that actually did really, really well. All right, hopefully it's not too hard to see here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slightly high and one-handed, offhand shooting. That's actually pretty good. I kind of like it. Now, would the Colt shoot any better than that? Man, I don't know, but like I said, it's already survived 51 years without being fired. Maybe it'll survive another 51. Let's see if we can ring some steel from 15 yards. Did just fine. Shoots pretty good. It's a Pietta, but it still shoots fine. Okay, so there's my 6 shots with it, and it actually did really well, both the performance of it and the accuracy of it. I mean, it functioned just fine. I did not put any, I brought some boar butter out here with me, and I did not put any on there. Of course, with the Wonder Wads here, the Oxyoke Wonder Wads, they are pre-lubricated, so that helps a little bit. But the more you fire these guns, between shots, they're going to get more and more fouling on them. So that's one of the things you'll want to watch anyways. And when you put the boar butter or any kind of lube that you've got in there for black powder firearms, it really helps soften that fouling or keep it soft. It makes it easier to clean out between shots if you need to. It's actually, like I said, I don't know if the Pietta or if the Colt would shoot any better than the Pietta. I'm sure it would. It is probably a much better made firearm, and even though this is, like I said, I really wanted the Uberti, but what happened was I got online to a certain site and I ordered it, and it took 3 or 4 days for them to process it, and when they finally got it processed, they said, hey, they're out of stock. When I ordered it, they were in stock, but so I went ahead and canceled my order and had to order this Pietta from a different website. And it took a little while to get here, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, which wasn't bad anyways. But it's a replica. It looks like the Colt. Is it necessary for me to shoot the Colt? No, not really. I think it would have more value for me to just hang on to it like it is, unfired, and go ahead and just put all the abuse and wear and tear on the replica that, like I said, is considerably less expensive than the actual Colt. And it shoots great. That was some really good shooting. Usually these things are, yeah, off a pretty good bit. But yeah, that one was right there where it's at. And you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and load this thing up some more and give it another 6 shots while I got it out here at least, because I got to clean it anyways, so I might as well use it a little bit more. Anyways, if you could, reach up here and hit this button to check out some of my other videos. Hit this button down here to subscribe if you haven't already. And some of you wanted me to go ahead and fire the Colt. I didn't do it, but thanks for watching anyways.